Welcome to your Gaia session. So right now, as you're getting comfortable, just find yourself a comfortable seat. If that's where you are, good. Just lean back, put your hands in your lap, sit upright, lean back, take it easy. There's nothing that you need to do for the next 15 to 30 minutes, we'll see. All you have to do is just feel. That's the main thing that we want you to do during this session. Feel your body as we are taking you on a little journey in consciousness. Perhaps sharing some things that you may not have heard before. Perhaps sharing some things that sometimes can be a bit tricky to integrate fully. And so watch out for quick reactions from the body and breathe into them, because those very things are energies to open up, to feel more of, feel more deeper into. Because when you feel deeper into, with more of a curiosity, not a reactive, but more with a curiosity, then you open up for more space to zoom in and open up the file of that emotion. And then you can read what it actually is. How about that? Most of us didn't grow up learning what our feelings truly mean. We were taught to manipulate to get our will, because most of our caregivers have manipulated us to get their will. And so we have all been through this to some extent, and if not very clear, then there is the mind space, and the mind space is the same as having it in physical people. That's what we want you to know. Scenarios played in your mind is just as equally valid to work with than another person. There's no difference, because you are only dealing with your own consciousness. You are only dealing with your consciousness here. And many beings can find that tricky to comprehend. Not even comprehend, accept. Like, what? But everything is, yeah. Everything is. And there should be some relaxation in your body if you accept that there is nothing you have to fix on the outside. It seems like that. It seems like you have to do all of these things. There's all these things that you've been used to, that you're used to doing. And that energy is what you're feeling, that you have to. That's just the momentum that you have on something. That doesn't mean that you have to anything. You don't have to anything. You can just simply feel that feeling. Momentum. When you see it accurately for what it is, you can relax, because then you get that there's nothing out there that needs fixing. You don't need to fix anything out there. What is needed is, first of all, recognize that truth. And then you switch on the inside. And when you switch on the inside, you get a gift. And that is the gift of feeling. Feelings are nothing to run away from. Feelings are nothing to try and avoid having, or to pretend that you are something else to avoid feeling what actually is going on. At any time during the session, if you feel like taking a sip of water, cup of tea, or anything like that, we encourage that. We would not advise any meal snacking, but more healthy, mindful beverage. And so what we're doing in these sessions, we are correcting the mind. The mind has been very mistrained. Most people go around perpetuating cycles in behavior, thinking and hoping and feeling that something should be different. You see the split? Feeling different than what it actually is in thought. Thoughts produce a distorted feeling. These are not in alignment, you see? Thoughts and feelings. Thoughts and feelings needs to be aligned, which means that it is about following what feels good, but it's not about avoiding the truth. Because if you avoid the truth, even if it feels bad in the moment, truth is usually rejected at first. And then eventually when you start to see more of it, you start to go, I get it now. And then you start to accept it. And when you accept it, only then can you actually change it. And it doesn't matter what it is, what pattern that you have been going like this in. Sometimes it can just be a pattern of boredom. You know, like there are these sort of idling patterns that just is waiting for you to take a step, to find out what you want here, what you truly want, not what you think that you want, not these gadgets and all of that. That's the marketing. We have studied marketing in the dualistic perspective, and so we know a lot about manipulation. And we know a lot about sales tactics, which is all about manipulation. And it is marketed as a good thing. to manipulate, to use tactics, to do this and to do that. But the main thing is that it needs to be an energetic harmony for it to truly work, you know? And it could be that certain thing works for certain people because of their configuration. There are many egoic configurations, just the same many as there are snowflakes, and there are endless variety of that. And you are very unique, just the way that you are put together. Both the things that you have deemed that you are not, like maybe talented and good enough for all of this that is about to show up. Because whenever you are in harmony with the holistic perspective, that is when everything starts to flow. This is when Gaia starts to show her synchronistic moments that she's there with you and that you're following her guidance and that you are getting that this is a cyclical energy, that the more you get into this way of being, the more you get into the cycles of Gaia, really. And it is a reintroduction to learn to get to know the feminine. That is Gaia. That is the energy world. That is what we're talking about every single day here. That is what we are an expert at, is this energy world and how it works, how it functions. And when you know what signals to follow, and those signals are truly your North Star, found within your body in certain feelings, based on how you maneuver your thoughts and how you are judging reality, what you're perceiving of the reality matters a lot. Because once you are focused inward, and we can just turn up, increase the energy, turn up the energy, increase the energy. And I ask for the earth and the star portal to open now, so that more energy can flow through. And if you're not familiar with that, the star portal is your top chakra that you can open up for more floodgates, and the earth portal is below you that you can command and you can open up for more energy coming this way. That is how human beings naturally get energy, in this direction, like this. And so as we're talking about it, feel for that, because this is something that is truth. It is truly how it operates. And the only way for you to tell is through your feelings. And so you have to feel for it. And some beings are very intellectual still. That is the unbalance. That is the masculine, feminine being a little bit in balance, you see? Overly focused on the intellect, not so focused on the body. And that, you can think whatever you want, but the truth is in the energy and what can be perceived. by someone like us that can feel, we can perceive it. And there's no point coming with explanations of why and this and that, and it doesn't matter. Just get present now, type of thing, right? Just get in your body now, you know? And then you can be here, present with what is going on right now. Present with everything. Feeling, hearing, and feeling the resonance that comes from that. Being internally focused. And then open up for more energy. When you open up for more energy, there is more energy that is getting filled literally from the inside out. If you have done enough work with the 3 lower chakras and the 3 upper chakras between the heart, meaning that you feel solid in yourself, you can express your creativity, and you are okay with dealing with people. And you have worked on receiving higher intelligence, clarified the mind, opened up to see what the divine is telling you, right? Receiving and then speaking divine. Speaking what the divine is telling you. That's the whole purpose of this, is to speak that into creation. Then you are in alignment with Gaia. And that's usually when those 3 are aligned, everything is open. And you can feel that. And you can feel even that there's a relaxation in the solar plexus, like you don't have to fight some more. You don't have to fight anymore. You know? It's like, you can rest. Finally. Letting everything be okay. Knowing that the way I feel on the inside is what's affecting the outside in my world. And that's the only world that matters to you, is your world. In me, in my world. That's the only thing we're seeing anyway. We can feel for resonance of how well someone is speaking through their body. That's something, there are more feelings there, but that is only possible to feel in a resonance, when there is resonance. And for that, someone needs to be embodied to be able to read that. Meaning open, chakras open, allowing this energy to flow, to fuel your entire space, oozing out of your energy. That's what it is. Don't be afraid of your energy. Your energy is here. It's meant to take up space. Your energy is meant to take up space here in this environment. It is not meant to be a little mouse, to dance around to please people. It's not meant for that. It's meant for you to be comfortable in your own body. When you start to be comfortable in your own body, and if you don't feel comfortable in your own body, it doesn't have to be other people. It can be you that's the problem. And usually it's a bit of both. And so this is not about blame. It's never about blame. It's about seeing the truth. It's about seeing the truth of energy. Because once you see the truth of energy, and you can actually start to see how Gaia shows you that she's here. We had this magical moment this morning with so many birds, so many different birds that came and said hello to us, just in our little tree that's just right there. So beautiful, lots of different colors, red and spots, and with like these, like so many, really beautiful. And they were singing to us personally, through Gaia, because of what we were channeling. So interesting. So, this is what these hair sessions are about. And then, what we usually do next is that once we have synchronized both me and you with the heart, with the energetic truth, so that you are also in alignment with what's going on here. And if not, then there's always a conversation that can be had. But I'm assuming that you are following along and that you are ready for the next step. And so the next step, once we have cleared the pathways, and they change from day to day, they're never the same. That's why it's a channeling. That's what they're helping with, to clear up whatever it is so that floodgates are open again. And so once that happens, there is resonance, there is feeling. And we can feel this inside here as an opening. It is a wonderful sensation. And so what we usually do next is that right now, we're going to start some breathing. So usually what happens is that we just start, and we just start to breathe, and you are responsible for your own body, right? We suggest that you follow along if you don't know how to sync up with your own connection and work in this manner with frequency. And so we recommend that you follow along then, and just follow along. It's not so. If you lose it, if you drift off, follow that. That is more important, because then you are drifting into a different state. You can get into different states. Sometimes you can get very lightheaded. Usually what is happening then is that you are refueling so much energy that there is upgrades going on. There is more energy coming in to the system. And so what happens then is that you can sort of, it feels like you're leveling up in frequency. And that's what it feels like sometimes. That you're actually transcending different frequencies and you're actually in a new frequency. Because we are literally changing frequencies, what we are attracting based on how high we are vibing, basically, our energy. And so that's the whole game. And so that's why we're doing this breathing, to also increase our energy, synchronize, and also sometimes we ask for clearing. We'll see what happens today and what they're guiding us with. So let's just start. Sometimes also just making sure that we are synchronized here. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. So sometimes also we will breathe out and hold, and then after a while we breathe in and we hold. Advice to do that for as long as you can, but there's no competition. It's not like it's better to keep it longer. It's just what we're looking for is there is a particular energy gets fueled back into the system to pump in more system to keep it alive. That's really what's happening. So we are sort of working with the system. All right. Sometimes we make some sounds as well to vibrate the body and to synchronize our vessel and to vibrate more of our frequency. Everything stacks up, so just follow along and you will feel the resonance of this. Breath of fire. But we also always like to say that if you are familiar with following your intuition, follow your own intuition. That's very simple. If you know what that is and you're 100% sure about that, follow that. If you're not sure, follow this to the best of your ability. And then just take care of your body. It's most important that you feel. We have some beach flies here in the evening. Out and hold. as your breath. Sometimes it's just good to get a little upgrade, a little energy upgrade, and using your breath is a really powerful tool. We hope you enjoyed the session. We hope that it was clarifying. We hope that it was aligning your system into more calm and more centeredness in yourself. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And for more, there's a link in the bio. Take care.